So what is it about city council, right? Now that you're moving on, right? You've got the experience with the planning commission and you've sat with that department. What is it about the city council that made you want to run?
The city council has been dysfunctional for many years. We've seen a lot of turnover of our employees up to the city manager level. And so I think I can bring my expertise. I also can work with people. The first time I was reappointed, it was unanimous. This time I have 7 former mayors behind me. They're endorsing me. Their positions are all over the place, but they all support me. I think I have the ability to unite people, work as a team based on facts and logic, and make better decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Speaking of big action items, right now, I think one of the biggest items is the beaches in San Clemente, and it's a question I think that's fairly asked to all the candidates running for city council. What do you think? What's your San Clemente's a beach city?
Yeah, San Clemente is unique that it's a Spanish colonial city. It's also a beach city and a surf city. Besides planning commission, I served on coastal advisory committee
Mm,
for a year,
okay.
so I'm fairly knowledgeable about our beach issues. We have a sand replenishment project which will start from the second half of the next year.
Hmm.
We have serious beach erosion. We just had an emergency of the OCTA, the railway, um, being
Anything,
damaged by
yeah, anything that they could have done or the city could have done to prevent having, an emergency situation.
prevent emergency is tough because um, I guess you need a lot of monitoring of the situation. But if you don't do anything, eventually they become emergency. So the center replacement is a good program. We after 20 years, almost 20 years efforts, we finally bring it to fruits. But it needs to be done over and over. Every 6 years, we need to be able to bring in more sand to replenish the lost sand. It comes with a price tag and not cheap, so we have to look into the how we can fund this.
What's your take on the homeless situation in San Clemente? Again, another hot topic that people are talking about, and at least I think would like some clarity on.
It's an extremely complicated issue. It's a societal issue. It's a regional issue. But to cut the chase, San Clemente has to live with the situation today because the Ninth Circuit Court decision, Martin versus Buies, prevent the cities and municipalities to enforce their anti-camping ordinances. The court basically says as long as they don't have a place to go, you have to allow them to live on the public places. So a direct response to that, to get them off the streets and the beach, is to establish a regional homeless shelter. Make it clear, I do not support a regional homeless shelter in San Clemente because the regional we're talking about, the South Orange County from Irvine all the way down to San Clemente, we're at the tip of that area. So it needs to be centralized. But also, if no city wants it to be located inside of their boundary, a county land in an unincorporated area can be found and services can set up there. Once we have a shelter for them to go overnight, they will not have the choice to sleep on our parks, beaches, and the streets.
What's your take or insight or any intel on the e-bike safety or any concerns on that or
There are lots of concern about the e-bike safety. People are not wearing helmets. They're riding too fast. They're doing wheelies on the public street. They're they're driving too. They're riding too fast on beach trail and so on. Uh, we've done a lot of education, but there's a limit for education. At a certain point, we need to enforce. People will learn their lesson the hard way. The moment they receive a citation, the moment that their parents have to pay hard-earned cash um, for a citation, the kids will learn and the word will spread out. At the same time, e-bike is a new mode of transportation, and we need to figure out a way to accommodate them. One thing we can do is to complete our bike system. The city has a master plan for bicycle lanes. It's not completed. There are a few gaps in our bicycle system, especially nearby schools.
Mm.
That are the focus areas we need to look into and make sure the bike lanes are in place and the bike storage facilities are provided so kids can ride the bikes safely to and from schools.
Absolutely. You seem pretty well versed on what's going on in the city of San Clemente. What's your take on the gang activity with respect and with regards to the Chilean national gangs? Again, I feel like that's another hot topic that people are talking about out in Talega in particular, and the burglaries that are going on. And what would you attribute that to? Why do you think it's going on, and what would be a good solution to that?
I joined the neighborhood meeting of the gang activities next to Maxburg Plaza Park. So when we say gang activities, we usually refer to the, that those activities are in that area. The city has changed the physical environment around that park to make it harder for those gang members to gather.
Mm.
And we also include patrol and the presence of police officers. And we installed a new street lights, and we installed a new. We will install more cameras and plate readers. So that has made the situation a little better. The chilling gang, the burglary around Talega is a new thing. The city responded pretty quickly, and we already see the result. And we just arrested a few guys.
How do you feel our sheriff's department did with that? With the way that they kind of reacted to that, and with the way that they were able to, I believe, apprehend, and they put a couple of them right
Yes,
in
they've
custody.
they've done a phenomenal job on that case, and it's just a couple of weeks, and
Yeah,
they put the resource on it,
yeah.
and they've already caught a few of them.
Both between that and Maxburg Park,
Yes,
you feel like they did a good job.
yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty happy with our county sheriff.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Any recommendations or any changes you would like to see made with the structure and or the relationship that the city of San Clemente has with the sheriff's department, or do you feel like they're staffed well?
At this moment, the city has a very good relationship with the sheriff, I believe, and any change I would do is to make it even better. I would like to see that if we can bring in more revenue and cut the government spending, so the city has more money and we can use the money to fund better police services.
Absolutely. Where do you see San Clemente? What's your vision over the next 5 to 10 years? What do you see San Clemente? What kind of city do you see it? The growth of San Clemente? Do you see what's your vision for it over the next 10 years?
So within 5 to 10 years, we will look at opportunity to revise our to update our general plan again. So this general plan covers the period that San Clemente is no longer a, a fast growing community because it is all about incremental infill projects, regeneration, rehabilitation, and so on. So we'll look at the past 20 years to see what experience and lessons we can learn from that and update our general plan and go forward from there.
Absolutely.